Hi friends, welcome to Cooking Craft, and this is Sadhana here. Today we are going to see how to make a very famous popular South Indian breakfast, which is Idly Dosa, and I'm also going to teach how to make the batter step by step, and especially for the beginners or people who would like to learn it step by step, a proper batter can just go and watch this recipe. Friends, today we are going to make a very popular South Indian breakfast, idli and dosa. For that we are going to see the perfect measurement for how to make the batter. So kindly watch the video till the end, because I am going to give you a lot of tips and tricks to make a perfect batter and a spongy idlis. These are the idli rice. You can see how it looks. It's kind of little half white and half transparent. So when you go to the store, you find this as idli rice. So pick up this rice for perfect idlis. So now the measurement here is, I have taken about 1 kilo of rice. Okay, for 1 kilo of rice, I am going to take urad dal. In this glass, it's about 250 grams. So I am taking urad dal, a full urad dal, 250 grams. For 1 kilo of idli rice, I am going to take 250 grams of urad dal and 1 teaspoon of fenugreek seeds, which we will add to this urad dal. And after this, we will be washing this thoroughly in a running water till the water is clear. We will also wash the rice in the running water. Let me wash the rice and come back to you. A small tip for the beginners, like if you don't know how much water you have to put for soaking and all that, I've taken about 4 glasses of rice. For 4 glasses of rice, I've used approximately 10 glasses of water. You don't have to really measure the water to soak it, but if you are a beginner, I'm just giving this as a tips. We have washed the rice. You can see how clear the water is. Two reasons. One is it's coming from the mills. You have to wash it for the hygiene sake. Second thing is, like when you wash your rice and your dal very well, when you make idlis, it will be really white and very fluffy, and it will look very nice. So that is another reason. Now we will allow this rice and this urad dal is also washed well with the fenugreek seeds inside. We will allow them to soak minimum for 6 to 7 hours. And after we soak, I will come back to you and show you how to grind this. You can see the rice and the dal has been soaked very well, and this has been soaked for about 7 hours. Minimum soaking time is 6 hours. So more than 6 hours, it's 7, 8 is okay, but minimum 6 hours, and I have soaked it for 7 hours. And now first thing is, we will grind the urad dal, because I'm going to use this in the grinder. Now we are going to grind the urad dal. And always when you are doing it in the grinder, first use the urad dal, because while grinding a lot of urad dal will be sticking here and there. So first we do the urad dal and then the rice. But if you are doing it in the mixie, any which way is okay. So now the fenugreek seeds and the urad dal, we will be adding it to the grinder. Now I have added all the dal and the fenugreek seeds in the grinder. I have not added any water to it, because we will not add all the water. Very little water we will add, and as and when it's required while grinding, we will be adding it, and this will be a very smooth paste. At this point I am going to add little more water, probably about 2 to 3 tablespoons. I've just put off this so that I can say something. When you're grinding your dal, you have to take a ladle and keep moving it, otherwise particles of the dal and the fenugreek seeds will be sticking to the edges of the grinder. So you have to just take it out from the corner when you're grinding. See, I have not added too much water. You can see the thickness, because we can always add water later on. Once we are done, we know how much water to add for the idli and for the dosa. So at this point we will keep it like this. I am just going to add just another couple of spoons of water, and we'll just move all this dal. We'll keep moving it. And the other way to see whether your dal is nicely done is you would take a little bit of dal and just put it in the water. When it's floating means your dal is done. So at this point you can take it out. So the dal is done. The dal is done, and I am going to remove all this into a container. I have removed the dal. This is how it has to be, smooth and thick. And you can see the amount of water that I have used. Very little water I have used for grinding. Don't use too much water, that is another tip. And at this point I would like to tell you why I told you to grind the dal first is, you can see there is so much of dal sticking to the grinder. So if you are using a grinder, first the dal, then the rice. So when we put the rice, all these dal will stick to the rice and it will all come out. So your measurement don't miss. Now I am going to add the rice to the grinder. So as we are adding, we will also put on the grinder and keep adding the rice. Remove all the excess water. So we'll just take all this rice. In the rice we can add a little bit of water, not too much water, very little water, otherwise it will not grind properly. And for rice we will not make it very smooth, we'll take it in very coarse. At this point I am just going to add a little water, again about 2 or 3 tablespoons. That's it. So we'll allow the rice to grind. Our rice is done. You can see it is slightly coarse. This is how it has to be. So your idlis come out very well. So now what I'll do is I'm going to remove the entire thing into this dal. Then because I have to open all this and remove, let me remove all this and come back to you. I've removed the stone from here. So I'm just going to add it to the dal. Now the urad dal and the rice we have nicely grinded, and we are going to give it a nice mix. And while we are going to give it a mix, I am going to give you certain tips. First thing is we are going to add salt. You can add it as per your taste, but with this spoon I have taken about 2 spoons. You can also use rock salt here if you wish to. So after this we will be giving a nice mix. So the rice and the dal has to get nicely mixed. I have mixed it very well. You can see the thickness. This is how it has to be. And if we need water, we'll decide tomorrow morning once it's all fermented very well. Now you can see what I have done is I've taken a very long vessel. My batter is here and so much of gap is there because this is going to ferment and come up. If you keep it in a small vessel, all your batter will come out. So make sure that you put it on a bigger vessel where there's more space for it to ferment and come out. That is one thing. And the second thing is you have to allow it to ferment for 8 hours. In summer, generally within 6 hours it gets fermented if you're in India. But outside, if you're in a cold place, it might take a couple of hours more. If it doesn't get fermented, and if you're in a cold place, keep it out in the sun for 2 to 3 hours, it will get fermented for sure. Now our batter is ready. We have mixed it very well and we have added the salt also. Now we will allow this batter to ferment for about 8 hours. Now before that, I'd like to give you a small tip. When we are putting the lid, do not put an airtight lid to it. Just put a lid which will allow a little bit of air to go inside. Now I'm putting this, we'll allow this to rest and I'll come back and see you tomorrow morning. Our batter is ready now. You can see how it's fermented very well. I'll show you in close up. You can see the air pockets. This is how it has to be. Now we will give it a gentle mix. We'll not mix it very fast or something. Very slowly and gently we will mix. We need some air pockets in the batter so that our idlis are soft. Now since the batter is very thick, I'm just going to add a little bit water. I'll show you how much I'm adding. I've taken about 125 ml water. I'm just going to add half of it and see how much we need. Gently mix it. I've used all the 125 ml water to it, and see, this is how it has to be. It has to be like that ribbon fold when we make the cakes and all, like that exactly. This is how it has to be. Now after this, what we are going to do is prepare the idli vessel. This is my old idli vessel, traditional one. You get different varieties and different kind of idli vessel. Any idli vessel you have is perfectly all right. And in olden days they used to put cloth and they used to make it, but nowadays it's very difficult for us to maintain the cloth hygiene and all that. So I have selected a plate like that. So I'm going to add a little bit of oil to it and just brush it up. Any cooking oil or ghee is also okay. So we are just going to give it a small coat. Let's prepare our vessel now by pouring some drinking water into this. Now I have taken about 1.5 small cup of water. You can take water according to your the size of your vessel. Now what we will do is, we have already oiled the plate. We will put the batter into it. We will not fill the batter till the rim, because it will also get cooked and become little fluffy. So we will just put it like this much. So this much of a gap should be there. You can see this gap, this much of a gap should be there. That much we will fill in. Then we will start steaming it. I'll tell you for how long we have to steam and in what flame. We have filled the batter. Now we will put it inside the cooking vessel. And we will put the lid. Now this will go on our stove. This will go on a very high flame for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, you will reduce it to lower medium flame for another 12 minutes and your idli is done. If you still have a doubt whether your idli is cooked or not, I will show you how to check that once it's done. It's been about 5 minutes. You can see the steam coming out. Now I'm putting it on low medium flame. And also a tip here is whenever you buy a idli vessel, the lid has to be slightly loose. It should not be tight. The steam has to escape when you're cooking the idlis. It takes about 10 to 12 minutes for the idlis to get cooked. So it's cooked well. So the way we will check is we will just dip a spoon in the water and just we can check it like this. You can see how well it's cooked. Nothing is sticking to the spoon. So how we check the cake? The same way, we are going to put off the gas. And now we will not remove the idlis immediately when it's very hot because it will all be sticking down. So we will allow it to rest for about 3 to 4 minutes. How to make our dosa with the same batter. Now since this batter is thick, we cannot use this for dosa. So I am going to take it out in a separate vessel and I will be also adding a little water to it before making our dosas. Okay, I have taken about 2 ladle full and this is about 125 ml and I am just going to use half of it and we'll give it a nice mix. Also when we make batter, do not add too much salt because we will be eating it with different curries and chutneys and sambar. So they will also have salt. So don't add too much salt to it. You can just only add about 40 to 50% of the salt which is needed for the batter. So now our batter is ready. Let's go and make the dosas. So it has to be. It has to flow this way. Now I'll show you the difference again. This is only for the beginners. This is for the dosa and this is for the idli. Let me show it this way to the camera. Now we are going to make the dosa. The first step is like you can either use a brush to put little oil. I am using onion. I generally use this way, the old traditional way. So we will just apply a little oil to our pan. This is the very olden style of making it. Now your pan has to be not very hot or not very cold. It has to be medium heat and it has to be on a medium flame. Just take 1 ladle of batter and we will gently spread the dosa. Now it will take about 2 minutes for the dosa to cook. So we'll keep this on a very low medium flame and cook it. If needed, we can add oil later on. The dosas are ready. We'll just take it out gently and we'll turn it. Our dosas are ready. Let's go and plate it. Our idlis are ready. Before we take out the idlis, we will dip the spoon in the water and also make sure your spoon is little sharper. So now we will take out the idlis. You can see how nicely it has come out and it's easily coming out. And you can also see how soft it is. See the idlis, let me break it for you. See how airy it is and spongy. Now let's go and plate it. Our soft and spongy idlis are ready. You can have them with sambar, chutney, or if you eat non-veg, you can also eat with chicken curry, mutton curry. And the dosas with the same batter what we have made, even they are ready. See how soft it is. Friends, today we have seen how to make idli and dosa batter step by step. I hope you like this video, and I've also shown you how to make soft idlis and dosas. Okay friends, if you like my video, please share it with your family and friends, and do not forget to subscribe to my channel and also give me a like if you like my recipes. Thank you so much for watching.